Top 9 ultra-violent fighting games that are banned in many countries. There are some exciting video games that have flirted with controversies owing to their content. Fighting games in particular often have some graphic violence and other extreme content that is deemed to be unfit for viewing in many countries. Sometimes, however, even innocent games like the products of the Pokemon franchise faced harsh censors and were banned in Saudi Arabia. While gamers are never pleased with such abrupt censorship, at times it does become a necessity because the developers do take things beyond acceptable standards. In this video, we have compiled 9 such ultra-violent games that are banned in many countries and heavily censored in others.
Superman wins. Heroic brutality.
DC vs. Mortal Kombat, 2008. Developed by Midway Games. Warner Brothers for PS3, Xbox 360. This is a crossover fighting game that overlaps between the Mortal Kombat universe and the world of the Justice League. Raiden, the god of thunder in Earthrealm, manages to repel the invasion from Shao Kahn, and at the same time, Superman stops Darkseid's invasion of Earth. This causes the two universes to merge, and the powers of the heroes keep fluctuating. The two worlds hold each other responsible and fight against each other. Eventually, they must overcome their rage and fight the real enemy, which is a fused Shao Kahn and Darkseid called Dark Kahn. This game is regarded by many as one of the best Mortal Kombat games that are available. While the gore quotient might be higher in some of the other outings of the franchise, the fighting here is excellent and fluid. It's the inclusion of DC Comic characters that have made the developers tone down the violence. DC Comics restricted Midway from being too graphic, but even then, the game faced hurdles in some countries such as Japan, Indonesia, and Ukraine. The main reason behind banning the game was that it showed comic book characters making extreme fatality kills. Coming back to the gameplay, the nice story mode explains why the two factions are fighting each other. The rules are simple enough where you just have to beat up the opponent to move on. The finishing moves have been diluted, but some of the iconic fatalities, such as Scorpion's famous Toasty fatality, which burns the opponent, are intact. There is enough attention to detail for each character, and you will see that Superman's fighting style is just like you would have expected. Dead or Alive Extreme 3, banned in West. Developed by Team Ninja for PS4, Nintendo Switch, and Microsoft Windows. The Dead or Alive series was notorious for courting controversies, and this sequel to the beach volleyball spin-off was no exception. This third-person sports game introduced high-end 3D models who would have some fun in the sun in the South Seas. The game allows you to choose a character and enjoy a wide range of exciting activities. This was the most alluring game around back in the day, and you can enjoy a soft and bouncy vacation in the tropics, pun intended. DOA game series mostly involves some brutal fighting games, but this version has some significant changes. The game retains the previous camera mode from the earlier installments in the series. You have several game modes to choose from, such as the mini battles involving beach volleyball. The censorship issues began with the controversial segments like butt battles. It's a fun game to play with some exciting levels such as Beach Flag, where the characters take part in a race to retrieve a flag. As the gameplay progresses, you can unlock new costumes and things get sultrier. The girl mode in the game allows you to take control of the characters you've picked, while the owner mode gives you ownership of another island. From dating to various lighthearted activities, the game is full of moments that you will love. However, the blatantly sexualized portrayal of women did not go down well in the Western countries. The game was banned in the West for the tantalizing characters and gameplay that often gets a bit too lewd. However, that shouldn't stop you from playing it, because cracked versions are easily available online. Killer Instinct, 2013. Developed by Iron Galaxy, Xbox Game Studios for Xbox One, and Microsoft Windows. This game is the third entrant in the Killer Instinct series and is a reboot with some aspects of the first 2 games being retained. The mega corporation Ultratech remains as powerful as it used to be in the previous installments. In an attempt to make humans evolve further, the company drives humanity to a breaking point where they would be forced to evolve to survive. However, when the ancient abominations are awakened, the whole world is at risk. This free-to-play fighting game starts off with only one playable character, and you can go on to purchase additional fighters individually. You have to complete various fighting challenges, and through these achievements you will earn the KI gold that can be used to make a purchase of costumes and accessories for the characters. The characters involved are pretty good, and they each have their own story that explains how they got to where they are today. Each and every hit in the fights will get you the crunchy and brutal feeling, and once you understand the game's mechanics, things get simpler. The cinematic story mode makes things interesting, and you feel addicted to the game until you go through the 20 stages with dynamic stage environments. The only multiplayer modes add a further dimension to the game, where the amazing graphics make a remarkable experience. However, with some very graphic violence, the game found itself in trouble and was banned in many countries in the Middle East. Even in the West, it was only permitted after certain editing.
Go! Yeah! Puppy, go! This is our justice!
Samurai Showdown 2020. Developed by SNK Corporation for PS4, Xbox One, and Microsoft Windows. This is the reboot of the popular Samurai Showdown series and is premised in 1787. During the Tenmei era in Japan, Japan is going through one of the harshest moments in history with famines and unrest, and Shizuka, the spirit of a young woman trapped in Yomi, threatens to destroy the whole nation. It's up to the brave samurai warriors across the country to unite and defeat the evil forces. Samurai Showdown was the first time when the SNK Corporation used the smooth Unreal Engine 4. The core gameplay is incredibly solid, and visually, the game will appeal to every gamer. This reboot captures the best bits of the original game that was loved by the fans. However, the single-play experience could have been better. What separates this unique fighting game from the others is this category is the tense style of fighting that keeps you on the edge of your seats. It was rightfully awarded the Best Fighting Game Award at the Game Awards 2019, but the brilliance was shrouded in controversies. The post-launch DLC characters stirred up quite a storm on social media. It started with the female character Iroha, a female warrior who was designed to remain without her clothes for much of the game. SNK's official Twitter account furthered the fury with a controversial tweet. And soon, the game drew some unwanted attention. Although later, the tweets have been deleted. The game continues to be banned in countries like Saudi Arabia and parts of Europe for its extremities.
Target acquired.
CARMAGEDDON Max Damage 2016. This car combat genre was once a heartthrob amongst racing and fighting game enthusiasts. This time around, the game offers you to be a part of a series of death races through post-apocalyptic environments. You can still run over the pedestrians and animals that run around your way. You can even smash into your opponents and destroy their cars by using power-ups. Gamers from all over the world have a soft spot for nostalgic moments when an iconic game is brought back in an upgraded form. CARMAGEDDON is one such digital nasty back in the day that unleashed hours of crushing pedestrians with your car. The gameplay is smart and often requires a bit of strategizing on how to use your money. You can reset your car and repair the damages done. The AI in the game is a bit of a turnoff, and it struggles to cope with the pace of the game. However, it's still fun to ram into vehicles at top speed and even getting hit at times. The gameplay constantly provokes you to run over the pedestrians, and often it does so with some inappropriate comments. This is where the game lands itself in trouble, and the politically incorrect demeaning statements are hated by critics. The censors did not take to it too kindly, and the game was banned in some countries like Sweden, Germany, and Argentina. Bloody Roar 4, 2003. Developed by Hudson Soft and published by Konami for PS2. The game takes over from where the series left off in Bloody Roar 3. Zion, who is possessed by the evil spirit, attacks the Dragon Temple and awakes the dragons. If these dragons remain in their awakened state for too long, they can destroy the whole world. The temple's head, Miko, manages to reseal the dragons, but they're about to break free one more time. Miko's sister, Ryoho, try to rein in the dragons one more time in this game that offers various endings for the characters. You have to choose a character and start off in the action madness that makes this fighting game an adrenaline-pumping affair. Depending on the characters you pick, the ending will vary, but all of them promise a ruthless battle with some extreme violence. It's exciting to watch the characters transform into beasts during the intense battle sequences. Using the beast gauge also helps to increase their powers to help them in battle. The characters had really great graphics, but it also ensured that the violent bits were enhanced. The game received a mature rating for the realistic blood and violence that was an integral part of the gameplay. Although the game is banned in many parts of the world, you can always procure it from the internet sources. If you love the realistic combat on offer, you will like the dozens of fights and unlocking new technologies as you go ahead with the game. A thrill kill, developed by Paradox Development for PlayStation. 10 damned souls, all of whom have been murderers, are languishing in hell. The Goddess of Secrets is bored of her usual life and decides to pit these characters against each other. A fighting tournament is arranged where the winner would be reincarnated. The friends of one of the characters, Violet, try to reach her through a portal but get stuck in hell. Now, they too must take part in the thrill killing to make their way out of hell. However, only one of them can be reborn. The genre itself will tell you all about the game being banned. Each of the characters in this game, old and new, are gruesome and have some horrifying moves. Especially the thrill kill moves are extreme. The gameplay is actually fairly engaging, and the element of violence makes Mortal Kombat look like a kid's game. This dark and gory theme worked wonders with the fans, but also caused it to be banned in countries like the UK, the US, and Australia. The sexual overtone and morbid violence did not ring a bell with the censors and led to the ban. However, we feel that it is a bit unfortunate seeing that Mortal Kombat games are allowed to flourish with their extremities. You can still get a hold of the game on eBay or simply download it off the internet.
Back to my feet.
Let's move!
Gory Ultimate Tournament Show, Guts, 2017. If Quentin Tarantino could formulate a fighting game, this is probably how it would look. This crazy, ultra-violent game has players combating with each other, and in the process, they have to dismember each other by chopping off their legs and arms. Even then, the fighting goes on till there is a clear winner. The game is actually premised in a futuristic society where a TV show is this violent. You're a participant in the show, and you have to make your way into becoming the winner. This might seem like a nice addition to your collection of extreme fighting games, but just as the name suggests, the game isn't on the best terms with the censorship laws around the world. The gameplay is actually not meant to be taken seriously, and that's the only way to handle rampant gore. It's certainly not for the faint-hearted, and can even pull the likes of Mortal Kombat reaching out of a barf bag. The gameplay features some special unblockable attacks that can be achieved as you progress further. You have to be on the lookout for specific traps, and when the opponent touches them, it's a good idea to try and dismember them. As you would expect, such forms of grotesque violence don't sit well with the censors, and this game is banned in Australia, Sweden, and some Middle Eastern countries. Mortal Kombat 11, 2019. Developed by NetherRealm Studios and published by Warner Brothers and Interactive Entertainment for PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and Microsoft Windows. The legacy of Mortal Kombat was gifted us with some outstanding games over time. This one, like its predecessors, is a 2.5D fighting game. The plot takes off from Shinnok's defeat, and Dark Raiden prepares to protect the Earthrealm by destroying all enemies. A Time Lord starts to merge the past with the present, and all the heroes from Mortal Kombat timelines must come together to correct the past wrongdoings. The world has to be saved one more time. Mortal Kombat outdid itself with this ending, but even though we appreciate the extraordinary gameplay, we must admit that the storyline was disappointing. It serves as an upgrade to the last Mortal Kombat game, and the difficulty levels are a bit higher. The smooth online mode allows you to fight with friends, This time, the crypt is huge compared to the previous versions. The gameplay honors the legacy of every character, and the graphics are simply out of this world. Watch out for the fatalities that are filled with gore as always, and this time the developers have added more creativity to the horrifying deaths. Who can forget the character of Melina, who would lure her victims with her bosoms, which would then take the enemy's head off with the teeth in them? The greatest asset is a weakness because the plentiful blood and fighting caused the game to face some barriers along the release, and it was banned in Japan, Indonesia, and Ukraine.